from the Daily Caller. Big soda floods state capitol in unprecedented fashion to lobby against MAHA. So RFK Jr. has apparently issued an ultimatum to these big food producers. We got this from the Vigilant Fox. And this is actually from a couple days ago. This is Robert Kennedy will meet with senior leaders of the processed foods industrial complex to discuss potential topics ranging from banning seed oils and certain food additives to nutrition labels as the MAHA revolution begins. So as most of you know, I've been harping on this one for quite a bit because this may be one of the biggest stories in the country right now. West Virginia banned artificial food dyes in food, in schools, and just in general. The legislature passed this. It's supposed to go into effect in 2028. The Senate extended it by a year, giving them 3 years to figure this out. These big soda companies are now going to the government and trying to get the governor to veto this or to stall it. Daily Caller says, lobbyists from the American Beverage Association descended on West Virginia State Capitol building on Tuesday in an attempt to thwart a bill that would ban synthetic food dyes. And these are largely made from petroleum, by the way. National lobbyists who rarely, if ever, show up in Charleston came out in full force to oppose HB 2345, which would ban the in-state sale of any food products containing red 3, red 40, yellow 5, 6, blue, and blue 1 and 2, as well as green 3. Newly minted Health and Human Service Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has lambasted the synthetic dyes and touted studies which show the dyes are linked to negative neurobehavior outcomes in children. I'll tell you this. I got a question for everybody. Why is it that when I look at the ingredients on my food item, instead of putting cochineal mite residue, they write red 40?
Oh, God.
Imagine if they wrote cochineal mite residue, parentheses, insect paste, and bracket, and parentheses. A lot of people would be like, I ain't eating that. And this is what they do with cricket as well. What's the word for cricket? There's another word. What is it? Do you remember what it is?
Millet? No, it's not millet.
No.
Not millet.
Yeah, they have a word for cricket so they can not put cricket on the food label.
Oh, yeah. I'll look it up.
Let me,
Yeah.
Chat's probably already got it. It is called, where is that?
Acheta protein, ACHETA.
Acheta.
Acheta, that's
Really?
Yeah.
That's a new word?
I guess these are the tricks they use to make you eat the bugs. What if I told you guys that red dyes, I don't know which one, are made with cochineal mites? You ever see this one?
gross.
Oh. We did talk about this on the show before, but let's get it. Cochineal mite red dye. You are eating the bugs, everybody. I'm gonna tell you again. You all said I wouldn't eat the bugs. You're eating the bugs. Let's see. They got little pictures of this little guy. Look at that little disgusting thing. Where are they at? Where are the pictures of this stupid thing? The truth about red food dye made from bugs.
Ew.
Feed it to your kids. How come nobody wants to show the picture of that little bug? Oh, look at this. Whole cochineal insects from Botanical Colors. Oh, they're out of stock.
Whoa. Wait.
Jeez.
What
Wait, where's the picture of the little bug? Is that... Oh, man. That's the insect paste you guys are eating?
Oh.
Yuck.
Harvard Museum of Science. There you go. Look at these little guys. Yeah, eat the bugs. There it is. You guys want to eat that?
Whoa.
Apparently they have like an aluminum compound in their bodies, which is bright red. And so they breed them, mash them up, and then you eat them. So that's the dye. So my point is this. Yellow 5. Imagine if it said tartrazine, parentheses, coal tar.
Yeah, that was the first one. That was the big in the maybe late 90s or early 2000s. Yellow 5. They were like, it shrinks your testicles. That was the big.
Oh yeah, because wasn't it in Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
And they're like, if you eat Mountain Dew and Butterfinger at the same time, it lowers your sperm count.
Man, I ate a lot of that.
Same time.
In 6th and
That
7th
was
grade.
what every teenage boy told every
You
other
get
teenage
frozen
boy.
Snickers and go golf and drink Mountain Dew and eat frozen Snickers. Those were the days of zits, and I didn't know why I would have zits.
This is big news, though, my friends. I don't know if you like eating the bugs, but check this out. At least a dozen U.S. states rush to ban common food dyes, citing health risks.
I love this.
It's great. Yes, it is. And so West Virginia needs lobbying right now. This means we need RFK Jr. and his cohorts and other big look, there's a big opportunity here. You want to get rich? Open up a food processing factory, plant, whatever, that doesn't use these artificial dyes, and you will own the market in a few years. These mass producers are fighting this. So if we can get big companies to tell the governor that they're going to commit to producing food in the state to adhere to the new ban on artificial dyes and say, screw the big producers, you are not only going to see these investors are going to make mad bank because it's basically right now zero. The amount of food production in the state without artificial garbage in it is like close to zero. Everything's got some garbage in it. I'm sure there's stuff like tortillas, which don't have dyes in them. It's just cornmeal and water or flour and water. There's a big opportunity in replacing most of the food people eat. Sports drinks.
That's what I'm thinking about Gatorade.
Why even color the Gatorade?
You don't need to. All the Gatorades could be white, just clear. And with a yellow label or a red label or a blue label, depending on the flavor. And you don't need the poison in it.
Right. And so there's a lot of
athletes.
There's a lot of money to be made right now. The other big thing that I'm really excited for is the food tourism. Because we talked about this before the show. You've got Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia, all surrounding West Virginia. And I guarantee you, anybody who's within like 15 or 20 minutes of the border is going to be like, you want to go to the grocery store? Sure, but let's go to West Virginia because we know literally all the food is clean. Now imagine if they ban glyphosate residue, which they should.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a challenge too because of the way. Who was on here last week talking about it? Robert, sitting here on the Culture War last week.
Malone.
Glyphosate. He's like the most interesting. You ever see that commercial of the most interesting man in the world? That's Robert Malone, by the way. It looks like that guy.
So for those who don't know, glyphosate is I believe it's a pesticide, but it's used as a desiccant.
Herbicide, fungicide, pesticide, kills it all. Plants, fungus.
And so here's what they do. My understanding is that the wheat grows and the wheat needs to die so they can harvest the seed heads, the grains, right? And anybody who's ever seen wheat grow, it's green. And then when it dies, it dries out. And then you can grab the whatever they're called, the
stalks of wheat.
Yeah, the grain head or whatever. And then you can
not the chaff. It's the other part.
I don't know, whatever.
But it's the actual wheat.
The grain.
The wheat.
Yeah. Well, the wheat is the plant, but then you can get the little seed heads out, right? And then you can get. We did this. We made bread.
Yeah, super fun.
And because we had wild wheat growing in the yard, so what happens is the producer, the refineries and the distributors will be like, "Hey, we need to come in and harvest your wheat on this date." So the farmers are like, "Okay, well, it won't all be ready at the same time, unless they spray a desiccant, which kills it." And then the glyphosate residue is all over it, gets harvested, and you eat it.
And they've got, and those are the people that aren't using genetically modified wheat that is resistant to Roundup because the Roundup won't kill it, I believe. I believe you cannot desiccate GMO wheat that's resistant to Roundup. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know. So we'd have to revolutionize that farming industry, which is now set to feed billions, hundreds of millions, if not billions of people, and get them to grow. Like they're going to have to change their entire crop, some of these people that have Roundup ready wheat. That's a big one, but it could be done incrementally. But the problem is it cross contaminates. Like you'll get GMO wheat will like fly through the air and the wind, and seeds will land in other farms, and then they'll have all of a sudden GMO wheat in their farm.
You know what I really can't stand is that. Okay, so we know that they use glyphosate and other things in these wheat, and they go, "Yeah, but it's safe." I'm like, I don't care if it's safe. I don't want to eat it. So why? So I'm gonna go out of my way and I'm gonna buy glyphosate residue free wheat. Imported, organic, European, no glyphosate, whatever garbage.
Well, I think the best part about this as well, especially with them putting up so much of a fight, is the fact that it's going to bring a massive amount of attention on this movement. Yeah. And with RFK being the head of this, and now the media kind of making a spectacle of, all the lobbyists going there, we can kind of see that there's going to be resistance. And the only way that we can overcome that is if we have the support of the people. And by having that resistance, it's going to start hopefully a conversation with everybody around the country on, okay, what are we actually eating? You said it yourself with the way that they will deceive the majority of people by putting red dye 40 or whatever it is. And so now people are going to start to wonder. And once they start to get healthier, once they stop eating a lot of this crap, they'll actually start to be able to think better as well. They'll have a more clear mind and have more energy. I mean, I learned that myself by changing my diet entirely. But once this national conversation really starts to happen and we focus a lot more on what we're ingesting in our body each and every day, I think the support is going to come for it. It's kind of the same exact way Trump got into office, is the fact that we're able to now direct away from the distractions or whatever they have on the media and look into, well, what kind of media are we consuming? And eventually it's going to be what kind of food are we consuming? And hopefully it starts a nationwide movement to actually become healthy again. The MAHA movement is going to help this country with, I don't even know what the outcome's going to be of it, but hopefully it's a really good thing.
You ever see the videos of like a drain being unclogged? Do you ever watch videos of that? Like in the very beginning, all this guck just starts oozing out. That's like the phase we're in right now of cleaning the guts of the American health system, and it's just like miraculous to watch.
There is a particularly good video where it's a dam is like the dam's drainage or whatever is blocked, and then no, I think it's actually the dam has never had the pressure released. Oh. So it's a big concrete dam, and they like open the valve, and then like sludge starts slowly pouring out. Then you see like a massive wave of mud before water just goes boom and shoots out of it full speed through the air.
So how do we lobby? We're kind of lobbying now because you got what West Virginia politicians are watching or listening, or people all around the world. So
well, here's the thing. It passed with, I think, like 90 out of like 100 reps. It was like 90 something out of 34 senators. It was 31 senators. So even if the governor were to veto this, it's happening.
How's that work? If the governor were to veto, what would...
It goes back, typically how it works, a veto, it goes back and then you need a larger majority to approve it. But because the large majorities have already, they got a veto-proof majority apparently. We'll see though, but it doesn't need to happen like that. We just, got to make sure the governor knows. And the governor is a big MAGA guy. He's a big Trump guy, Morrissey. So I think as long as he's made aware that people really care about this nationally, then he's going to do it. What people need to understand though, it ain't so simple. When you're dealing with this, it's like on the surface. I'll tell you how the liberals would handle this. They'd be like, why don't ban it? Like, why not ban it? It's crazy. Only evil people wouldn't ban it. In the real world, you have the adults who are like, we want to ban it. We want to get it out of our food. Where will the food come from once we shift off this entire infrastructure of food production? We need X amount of tons per food per day, which generates X amount of dollars or Y amount of dollars. And if we turn this off now and we lose a massive portion, are we going to have the food? Because I hate to break it to everybody, most of the cheap, massive food production all has this garbage in it.
Yeah, I know. Can you pay 40% more for bags of food? This is just a question for you listening. Can you afford 40% cost increase on your bag of chips?
I think it's easy,
olive
man.
Oil.
Local. So if you don't want Fruity Pebbles, if there was, what is that, Post? I don't know. If they're like, no, we want our garbage petroleum chemicals in our food, then all you need is some local West Virginia company to be like, we're going to make, a fruity rocks, and they're not going to have any colors on them. And it's going to be a fruity tasting cereal with no fake petrochemical dyes. They'll make it here, and they're going to instantly be a multi-million-dollar company.
It could be that humans, there's a type of human that looks past what they see, and they'll consume something regardless of what it looks like if it's good for them. And then there's everybody else that is blinded by what they see. And we may just be diverging as a human species into the discerning ones that can like sense out the healthy stuff and will be like, I'm not eating the crap. And then everyone else that just gets dumber and dumber and becomes a subservient class. I don't know if we'll necessarily evolve away and become separate species, but it's a very different type of person that overrides their senses.
Kind of describing like NPCs right now, and the issue that we've been having culturally for years, because there's so many people that will just go out and repeat the rhetoric of what they'll become a parrot for the TV and then be willing to get in groups and do violent things. I mean, like what we see with the Teslas right now.
Yeah.
Tesla's companies are being attacked, and it's not like the Teslas are directly tied to Elon. He's literally he owns Tesla, but these local companies that are getting all of their inventory burned down, and then, or if you're just an everyday American driving a Tesla because a couple of years ago you wanted to save the environment, but now they'll damage your car and spray paint a swastika on the side.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference, and this is why I think Trump won in general, was because people are tired of that particular way to consume information, and they're breaking away from the NPC mindset and actually being open and tolerant, and not just preaching it because that's what they heard on the TV. They're embodying these values. So I feel like what you're describing is like an enlightenment versus continuing to be a drone.
Did they? Well, you said they spray painted a swastika on a Tesla. Did that happen?
Oh yeah.
Let me show you.
Serious?
The people that would put symbols on other people's property were the Nazis. They would put the Star of David on the Jews' front door so they could. This is crazy that someone would be like, think this other person's a Nazi so much that they're going to put the Nazi symbol out there.
Hey, they're firebombing Tesla dealerships in Portland.
I've only heard a little bit about
and
it.
you know who did it because they put a swastika on the side of the Teslas that they didn't burn.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.